What is the difference between soul and spirit? How can we exercise our spirit? So let's look at the human composition. A human is described as a combination of spirit plus matter. The analogy that we use here is that of a light bulb. The light that we see coming from the bulb is a combination of electricity plus the bulb. So the light that comes from the different bulbs is different in each case. We have red light, yellow, green, blue, different intensities, 10 watts, 100 watts, 1000 watts. The different colors, the different intensities is because of the different matter equipments, glass, filament, etc. What runs through the bulbs is electricity, which is the same. So in a similar way, the expression of life that comes from all of the different human beings is a result of spirit and matter. The reason that we get different expressions is because the matter equipments are different. Your body is different, your mind, your intellect, different from your neighbours. So the colour of light coming from you, the intensity of light, is dependent upon the quality of your matter equipments. But what runs through them? What enables the matter equipment to have this expression of life? That is spirit. And that is the same for all. So what's one of the ways we can start to visualize what we mean by spirit? Remember that matter is the body, mind, intellect, perception, emotion, thought. All of our experience of life is that we are conscious of something. At every moment, in waking and dream, you're conscious of various perceptions, conscious of emotions, conscious of ideas and thoughts. In the state of deep sleep, you're conscious of nothingness. So it's a conditioned consciousness. The condition of being happy and awake is different from the condition of being in dream and terrified. It's a conditioned form of consciousness. That being aware of, being conscious of, is enabled by a pure consciousness. We can pull out from our different experiences, if I am happy, I am sad, the fact that we are conscious in each case of happiness and sadness. Happiness, sadness, different experiences. What's the same for both of them is the very sense that we are conscious of that condition. So we can extract the knowing principle. We can do it conceptually. That knowing principle is the unconditioned consciousness or pure consciousness. That knowing principle is spirit. So you know your life. You are conscious of your perception, emotion and thought. So is your neighbour. That conditioned consciousness is the light coming from the bulb. The knowing principle is the spirit that runs through it, the electricity. What's the difference between soul and spirit? The word soul has a range of different meanings, depending upon context, depending upon who's speaking it. So it could mean, for example, your emotions and thoughts. You may have heard the phrase, "My soul yearns for you." What's that talking about? It's talking about a lover talking to his beloved. His thoughts and his feelings go towards that person. There's a deep sense of meaning in that relationship. It's referring to his emotions and thoughts. The word soul can also refer to your higher values, your higher thoughts. Not concerned with what is now, but more concerned with a less ego-centered perspective. So my soul yearns for freedom and growth. True freedom. It's a higher value compared to the things that my ego wants. So the word soul there is used in a different way. It could be used to mean your conscience. You might say something like, I have to say no to this opportunity. I feel it in my soul. It's not something I can explain to you. I just know that I have to say no thank you. It's your conscience speaking to you. You could call it your intuition. Again, it's a part of the matter equipments here. So that's one context in which the word soul can be used. It can be used to refer to different components of the matter equipments. The word soul can also be used to refer to spirit as we've just described it. So you could then say that a human being is soul plus matter. So the question is, what's the difference between soul and spirit? It depends entirely upon who's using it and how they mean it. It could mean the very same thing as spirit. It could mean different aspects of the human personality. It's all a matter of definitions. Second question is, how can we exercise our spirit? Spirit cannot be exercised. Exercise is the realm of effort. It's the realm of movement. It's the realm of change. This is the realm of matter. Spirit is that which has no quality, no property, no form, no function, and no change. You can't exercise spirit. What you can do is exercise the realm of matter, which brings you closer to spirit. So what does that mean? Let's look first of all at what we understand to be the thing that separates us from spirit, which is ego and egocentric desire. Spirit is that pure consciousness. Ego is the belief, it's the notion that I am the conditioned consciousness. It's not something we say to ourselves, we don't repeat it to ourselves, but we believe it nonetheless. A good analogy here is the dream state. Let's say that you are in a dream and you are a different nationality. You're a French person, whereas in the waking state you're an American. In the dream you know that you are a Frenchman, but you don't say to yourself, I am French, I am French, I am French. It's part of what you take for granted. And you wake up and you say, what a strange dream, I thought I was French. Really I am an American. So too, in the waking state, you don't walk around saying to yourself, I'm American, I'm American. It's part of your makeup. You take it for granted. Whatever gender you consider yourself to be. You don't walk around asserting to yourself or others, I am male, I am female. You don't walk around saying, I am a human. You take it for granted. So the ego is this assumption of being the conditioned consciousness. And from that arises ego-centered desire. If I believe I am a body, then the demands of the body become my demands. So too, if I believe I am a mind, if I believe I am an intellect, whatever their natural demands are, I take them on as my own. It's this ego and the egocentric desires that keep us separated from spirit. It's because we are embedded more in the realm of matter. So practice can reduce this ego. Practice is based on the principle, as you think, so you become. That you are creating your identity by wherever your thoughts go. So I won't go into the details of the practices here, that's been done elsewhere, but briefly, the practices are for the mind, so that is gratitude and devotion. For the intellect, which is a self-reflection process on higher values. For the body, it's action in the world that is dedicated to others' well-being. And for the subtle intellect, it's meditation. These practices integrated together cause us to suspend our identification with body, mind and intellect. to step away from the ego slightly. As we practice this more and more, we spend less and less time in the grosser aspects of the ego, and we grow into the subtler and subtler aspects until we wake up entirely from the ego and identify as the pure consciousness. We become the electricity in the bulb.